got our podcast, thinking you should watch it. If you driving, man, it's good for you to listen. No, we keep it real, no, we spit it raw. Sports dialogue, know it's good if I'm involved. No, we're not the news, we just cool dudes with nobody to impress. Just talking our shit, call it pressman coverage. Pressman coverage.
Welcome into Pressman Coverage, a podcast dedicated to you, the fan. Today we are doing our post-Snowmageddon episode. For some people still mid-Snowmageddon. Shout out to everybody who's dealing with the power outages and pushing it through. I'm even sitting down in my chair because somehow my table got fried while I was gone. But either way, we are going to have some fun today and talk about an exciting, I'm going to say potential just to be safe, but likely addition. But before we do anything, gotta introduce my dog, Captain Sauce. Talk to the people today, baby.
Hey, I'm not the captain, man, but we gonna pull one out for my guy Cody. You know what I'm saying? Pull one out for my guy Cody, man. Stay strong. It's been rough here in in the city. You know, the last couple of days, man. We hope everybody's staying warm. Yeah, man. We're not prepared down here for what comes when old Jack Frost comes through, man. But
oh, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah,
Nashville was like salt trucks.
Yeah,
who cares about salt trucks?
It's like
Let
it's
the
like
ice just
Armageddon.
happen. We knew this was coming a month ago, and I didn't see a single salt truck out. The city of Hendersonville talking about we have 200 tons of salt available. I have not seen a single truck out here, but shout out to Cody, man. Cody is a part of those hundreds of thousands who are currently either without power, dealing with busted pipes, whatever it is. Shout out to the Nashville community as a whole. I hope everybody recovers well. I hope the insurance pays for what they're supposed to pay for. And I hope that we continue to kind of rebuild some of the damage that was done and nobody has to miss too much time off of work. And most importantly, everybody's safe, warm, has a warm plate of food if needed. Whatever it is, man, we hope that you guys have it. But
yes,
speaking of what arrived, go ahead, Saul.
Onto that real quick. I just wanted to also say, man, it's a beautiful thing to see here in the city, man, with the community and, you know, the workers that's working around the clock to provide power for the city and doing it all, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. So just continue to keep that. I think that's what makes Nashville special is community binding together, everybody checking on their friends and stuff. But, yeah, man, it's a weird time here in the city, but, you know, on the bright side, we do got, you know, potential offensive coordinator. We might have this staff field. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, man. How you feeling, Liam? Hey, we might have the full ball crew. It look like it's a thing.
It feels good, man. We need a DC in the house, but I think that we've got some good candidates. And that position is not as important as the OC, with just Saleh. Given that Saleh and he's going to be calling the plays anyway, but it's still an important position nonetheless. But the offensive side of the ball was something we were worried about, not just because we have young talent on the team, even outside of Cam Ward that needs development and needs a stable voice in the room, but also it felt like our candidates were flying off the board hot and heavy. Now, our top two candidates, at least for most, you know, local media, national media, whatever you want to call it, has always been Brian Daboll and Cliff Kingsbury. But the Brian Daboll thing, you know, has been shaky at times. Even right now, it's not 100%. Although we did get a report from Paul Kaharski that Brian Daboll is in Nashville currently. And we're recording this on Tuesday afternoon. So he is in Nashville currently. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But, you know, I'm excited about that, man. I'm excited to see what they do. You know, outside of this too, we lost Tyke Tolbert, who was an excellent wide receivers coach. Be interested to see, you know, what comes along with it. But I also think moves like that aren't made if we didn't have conversations with Daboll on the front end as well. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how we build around him as well. But Brian Daboll's a good get, man. I'm excited about it. Sauce, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm excited with the fact that Brian Daboll is you know, I'm hoping that he keeps it a man of his word. I mean, the reports are coming out that you know, that we were one of his top offensive coordinating options. I'm just excited that somebody sees the value in Cam Ward that we see as fans. You know what I mean? I'm excited with the other interviews that they've done with Cliff Kingsbury, you know, the other offensive-minded coaches. I mean, it was nearing down. It was getting a little spooky. Arthur Smith came off the board. He wasn't one of my top favorite, but just the fact of having the options there felt good at the time. But that was a little scary seeing him go, you know, back to the collegiate level. Well, to the collegiate level, and being the offensive coordinator for was it Ohio? Or was it Ohio where he got hired? Yeah. So for him going there, I mean, it started to dwindle down, but now that the Bills have hired within and they just promoted up, it freed up Brian Daboll, and I mean, I'm excited, man. I mean, they said he's here. Just stay here. I mean, we having a press conference tomorrow. All the stars aligned to me, man. So I'm excited. Hey, let's go, man. Wheels up. Let's ride.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And you know what, man? I also kind of think, you know, the press conference was originally scheduled for Wednesday. They pushed it to Thursday. I also think that's because Saleh wanted to get his full staff hired before his press conference. You know, being a head coach, and if you already have your press conference delayed, you might as well go ahead and take all the questions at once and not go into it with who's going to be your OC, who's going to be your DC, how those conversations go. Like, let it be all about you being hired, you having a full team that you believe in, being able to talk about the plan that you had in terms of OC and DC and the people around Cam, and being able to talk about you had that plan and you executed on it. Like, what a better introduction to the fan base. You know what I mean? I almost prefer it be, you know, a week and a half later. I know it kind of builds up the tension, and, you know, what initially is, or why haven't we officially announced it, or why are we waiting a week? Well, given the snow that just happened, I think it's good for everybody. Heck, half of Nashville wouldn't be able to see it. We don't even have power right now. So being able to push it forward is something that I really appreciate, because I think that, again, it's going to give him an opportunity to have everybody hired and be able to speak to a lot of the things that he planned on doing and executed on. Because that's a big thing, you know, building trust with this Nashville fan base, and not just having a plan, but executing is perfect. I think Brian Callahan had a plan and he didn't execute on it. I think Rand Carthon had a plan. He said it a million times during the draft and free agency. We have a plan and we're sticking to our board. You know, all of that political talk, you know, but it's good to see that we actually executed. And what some might say at the highest level, Brian Daboll was, you know, widely regarded as somebody who was a top OC candidate coming out. I mean, heck, he was a head coach candidate for multiple teams. You know, everybody but the Browns and Cardinals, who nobody wants to go to. You know what? People were talking about, why the Titans job so much appealing. We beat the Browns and Cardinals. Why are you talking?
Come on. Talk that.
Talk that. Why you wonder? We beat the Browns and Cardinals. Talking about dysfunction. This dysfunction beat that dysfunction. You know, so I just had to get a little bit crazy on that one, man. But man, let's talk about Brian Daboll, man, and some of the stuff that's happened with him. So we'll take you all the way back real quick, walk you through how Brian Daboll's got here. He's got 25 years of coaching experience. He's got 5 Super Bowl rings as an assistant and 1 college national title. He started at a volunteer assistant at William & Mary in 1997, for all you young pups, and a grad assistant at Michigan State. He entered the NFL as New England Patriots defensive assistant in 2000, receivers coach up from 02 to 06. He won 3 Super Bowls while he was there. Then went to quarterbacks coach with the New York Jets. His first OC roles, he started off with the Cleveland Browns for 2 years, Miami Dolphins for a year, Kansas City Chiefs for a year. Returned to the Patriots as a tight ends coach, 2013 through 2016. Won 2 more Super Bowls. What about that? College stint, he went back to become Alabama's OC and quarterback coach in 2017. We'll come back to this in a second. And won a national championship there. Then became the Buffalo Bills OC 2018 through 2021, where he developed Josh Allen into a star, essentially.
That was the ascension.
Giants head coach. I mean, just took off. The Giants head coach 2022 through 2025, fired in the middle of the 2025 season after a 2-8 start this past season. And here we are. So that's just a quick thing. You know, a lot of people didn't even know he went to Alabama or forgot he was an OC at Alabama. But that was a big part of the picture. So Brian Daboll, to me, is an interesting candidate for multiple reasons. One is what you just mentioned with his development of Josh Allen. I think that is the most appealing portion of the Daboll hire to me, man. Talk to me about what
Yes.
you think about Daboll and what really makes you excited about the hire.
I mean, man, it's like with that 25 years of experience, and you realize that all of the players that he's either had some involvement with or either had a opportunity to coach or somewhat advise or mentor in a sense, it's amazing. It's some of the top talent in the league, you know what I mean? And we'll touch on, some of the collegiate level and some of the players that came out through that year, but one of the more like highlighted things was when he turned Josh Allen from that year that he struggled essentially of being a rookie, making the mistakes, the turnovers, and essentially just getting him comfortable, getting him in his pocket, and increasingly improving his trajectory on forward. I mean, it essentially gave him the job there in New York. You know what I mean? They saw Brian Daboll's talent, wanted to bring him there to develop Daniel Jones and so on and so forth. So just to lean into that year when he had Josh Allen. Let me look up those stats of what he had that year. Where we at? I'm looking at the docket, Liam. Where we at?
Yeah. Just looking at kind of when he joined them in 2018, Josh Allen's rookie year, and I'll let you talk about kind of where it finished. Josh Allen's rookie year, he had a 52.8% completion percentage, 10 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Now, he did rush for 631 yards and 8 touchdowns during that year. So essentially, he had 18 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Whose season does that remind you of? You know what I mean? Look at those numbers,
man.
Then what happened after that, Randy? Tell me what happened after that.
After that, in 2019, I mean, he improved from where he was at in that first year. First, to answer your question, reminds me a lot of Cam Ward. Reminds me a lot of that. I mean, just some of the developmental traits and things that we've seen from Cam Ward, this season, and seeing him just continuing to improve. I mean, it's not as I guess as raw and vibrant of a talent. Cam Ward, he had to go through his own woes, but nonetheless, you see some of the same traits and flashes. But in that 2019 season, he climbed to 23rd. Josh Allen improved his completion percentage to 58%, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. That is a complete jump of improvement. He added weapons like John Brown. 2020, he just continued to just go up, and that's when he had the MVP runner-up season. 29.2 completion percentage, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, over 4,500 passing yards. I mean, lights out. And then he just continued to just climb from there more and more. I mean, and then, now we see Josh Allen as the household name that he is today. I mean, I can't say much more things about what he could possibly do with the Tennessee Titans and pulling out the talent that we have here. I mean, Josh Allen has, he had that year. What year was that he had Stephon Diggs? Was that
that was that MVP runner-up year?
I believe that was that year. That okay. I mean, Stephon Diggs at that time was written off. You know what I mean? It just came from Minnesota. I mean, they pretty much just shipped him out for a little bit of nothing. They thought he was finished when he went to the Bills, and he completely turned that around. I mean, Stephon Diggs is a interesting receiver within himself, and to be able to have people talking about him as a 2 or just not as good at that time, for him to be turned into one of the top receivers in the league and be respected as a number 1. I mean, that is a testament to what Brian Daboll can do. You know what I mean? Just getting down to the nitty gritty of how to coach some of these guys. I've heard for some of the reports that when he learned that he would be coaching Stephon Diggs, he went and looked up and did his history on some of the coaches that has coached him, reached out to them, asked him some of the best ways to be able to coach Stephon Diggs, to be able to connect with him directly. And I mean, it's been lights out from there. And then, I mean, you have where Brian Daboll eventually left. They still made do with what they had on the roster. You know what I mean? I think it's just a testament of what this guy can do. here in Tennessee. And I mean, if you ready, I mean, this is one of the things that poked out to me in Brian Daboll's career when he coached at Alabama, was the offensive coordinator. He coached Jalen Hurts then. I thought that was incredible. I think Jalen Hurts over there, I think he may have had over 1,900 yards. And man, I mean, that year, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, but that year in 2017, when he was the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, he had the opportunity and privilege of coaching Calvin Ridley. Now, with that of coaching Calvin Ridley, he led all receivers on that year of them winning the national title with 55 catches, 896 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, that is pretty cool. And now if you see in a full circle moment of him having, when he was the coach of the Giants, he wanted to get Cam Ward. The Giants really wanted to try to trade up to get Cam Ward. So for Brian Daboll to be able to see some of the traits, some of the similar traits that he's had through these years of coaching some of these guys like the Jalen Hurts, like the Josh Allens, to come back and see a guy like Cam Ward and be fascinated with wanting to coach a player like that, but then also within a full circle moment of coaching a guy like Calvin Ridley, a young Calvin Ridley, man, wow. Like, that'd be a match made in heaven, because the same way that he can speak to a guy like Stephon Diggs, I think he'll be able to speak to a guy like Calvin Ridley. Go ahead. Yeah, I think he'll be able to speak. He'll be able to speak to a guy like Calvin Ridley and be able to draw things up to have him playing at a extremely high level this year. So I'm truly excited. That was a thing that stood out to me. It popped out to me when we seen that he had those connections, and that excites me for the Titans offense this year. You involve that offense and you build it around Calvin Ridley. He is the number one. I don't see the Titans getting rid of him this year. I think he still has more in the tank. You build around him. You build around him. I'm not getting rid of Calvin Ridley, man.
So you think is the Daboll connection? And I just want to say this real quick. Per Jordan Schultz, the Titans have received the commitment from Brian Daboll to become their OC. He is in Nashville now to sign. So, just a quick heads up, it's officially official from Jordan Schultz right now.
Yeah,
I had to run and switch mics. I was so happy.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, the Alabama connection, is that deep enough of a root that you think it automatically has
just
him
made it
staying?
happen? That lets you know. I mean, that was some of the things that intrigued him. We just confirmed here live on Pressman coverage that Brian Daboll has just committed and signed. So I'm assuming that he will be there at the press conference. And this is what it is. You know what I mean? I think it's those connections. When he take a look at the roster, I think he doesn't see a crippled, broken down, low bottom of the half, low market team like everybody else in the NFL has casted us away as. I think he see it as buildable pieces. This is a win-win for Brian Daboll. Mm-hmm. If he takes this offense that has shown flashes and he builds with this quarterback that he was even initially fascinated with, and he takes that and builds it with other players and connections that he has developed over the years and have respect for, he is now looked at as one of the top head coach candidates in the future. This is a win-win scenario here. You come here and do your thing and you turn this around. You don't have to take, I guess, bottom half of the league, head coaching jobs. You don't have to go in there in a unwinnable situation. I hate to say it, but Brian Callahan, I think at the time he was dealt with a unwinnable situation. He had to pay the price for it. That's some of the things with some of these head coaching candidates. They get to come in and they get to look like a genius. So I think you come here and you do your thing and you get the Titans rocking.
Yeah, being able to, there's a few things that I like about it. One, going from 52% completion percentage to 69.2 with Josh Allen in a matter of 2 years. Yeah, Cam was at 59%, so he's not starting as low. But those things, Josh Allen talked a lot about the mechanics that were worked on. And that was a lot of what Josh Allen had to learn in the beginning. It's like the mechanics of playing quarterback and being a consistent passer. That right there is what intrigues me the most and what excites me about this signing that is now official. Like that right there is exactly what's needed, overall to really help expand it. Didn't it kind of look at how he generally operates, being Daboll. One of the things is he has an Erhard Perkins Foundation. Do your Googles, people. Essentially, what that means is it's his concept, and the system prioritizes like formation, like multiplicity. They want to make sure that personnel are interchangeable. There's opponent specific adjustments, things of that nature. On the other side of it, mentioning the personnel side, it's based on fitting the people that are in the system. That's something that I feel like Brian Callahan didn't do well as the last guy who orchestrated the offense. Is like everything that he did was a system based. You come in, this read should be here because this is what worked for Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't so much of these are the players we have here and this is how we make it work. And then, it's a balance attack. You run the ball, it protects the quarterbacks, you beef up the run game. It's a lot of zone, duo blocking schemes, gap schemes.
Yes.
But there's play action passes built in, there's traditional drop back, and he's also shifted to pass heavy. When Josh Allen continued to perform and show he could throw the ball, they started really making explosive plays. You saw that, situational excellence became a thing. Third down efficiency, red zone efficiency, 2-minute drills. And the thing that I like the most is pre-snap motion and creative formations.
Oof.
Things where we actually spread out the offense. We get a little bit more pre-snap motion where it's just not the running back running out and coming back in every single time like we did with Tony Pollard as a man check. Like actually having formations that reveal it early, making the game easy for Cam Ward and allowing the explosive things to happen. So I'm excited about it. I think that there's a lot of adaptation. Go ahead, jump in.
Who do you think, I just got a quick question for you. Who do you think is one of the, give me a tier who benefits from that type of system on the team that we have right now on the roster? Who do you think?
Yeah, man. So right now, let's just say everybody gets re-signed. A player like Chig Okonkwo benefits a lot from this type of offense because it allows the mismatch that he creates. When you spread them out and it's one-on-one with a linebacker, I'm not even looking anywhere else but Chig. You know what I mean? So having him or that pass catching tight end as an option there is someone that it benefits. And then on the other side of that, I think it's Chimere DK.
Yes.
Lining him up in positions for him to be successful. I think they, obviously got better with that over time. And to be honest with you, I don't really blame the coaching staff a lot for not getting him involved sooner. He's a late round pick who needed to develop as a wide receiver. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you know what he can do, I think there's going to be a lot of things that you can draw up some schemes to get more down the field plays available for him. So I think those are the two players, Chig and Shim, who are, Chig being a man beater. He can be a man beater,
Yes.
especially in those mismatch situations. And then Shim with his speed being able to beat man, not necessarily just his route running, but more so of his speed, gives us an ability to really isolate things more and, potentially become more of a dynamic threat to more people. Because that's the biggest thing is our offense is defenses can just sit in, single high, not even have to go with a shell coverage because they didn't believe anybody could beat them deep. They didn't believe that our offensive line could hold up long enough. Like there's so many things that factor into that, and being able to build schemes in where, it allows for those shots to be taken. We start threatening the defense more and the other running backs can get off earlier in the season. So I think those two things are in tandem. As Cam started playing better, the O-line started playing better, the running back started playing better, wide receiver numbers improved. Like all of those things stack when you have an offense that can be multiple. So I love that Brian Daboll isn't known for just one specific type of offense. He spread it out, man. And I can that's something I can really appreciate.
100%. And I love the fact that Brian Daboll as even a head as past experience of even being a head coach, but also just a respected offensive mind. I love the fact that he'll get his hands on some of these young, moldable receivers, such as Chimere DK, Alec Ironman, the list goes on. Gunnar Helm. I can't wait to see what he does with Gunnar Helm. And I think one of the masters of that we'll see a resurgence of his impact on the field is Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is one of the most dynamic when you can get him in space, move him around the field, pre-snap motion, all of those things are just that's Ridley's bag. That's his bread and butter. So if you can get him in space and get him in those mismatches, it already in motion, like man, it's gonna be nice. And just to see what else they do in free agency to supplement also within the draft. I'm excited. I'm excited. Like we have two respected coaches on both sides of the ball, whether they be in Saleh on the defensive side and also with just some of his assistants or defensive coordinator, whoever we put in there is just
everybody
extra addition, extra addition of just what we do with Saleh. And then also you have Brian Daboll now, man. I'm excited. I'm pumped. We kept Luke Stocker. Like it's gonna be nice. Bones man, on the special teams.
Solid. Big Bones. Yeah. I love that. You know, one thing I want to talk about real quick is, you know, following the excitement of getting a new offensive coordinator, there always becomes the naysayers. And I know one of the key points they're going to have, and this is for you to be able to go to work and argue with your coworker who's not a Titans fan and doesn't believe in the Daboll hire. I'm giving you some ammo right here. People may talk about, okay, well, Brian Daboll doesn't necessarily have a track record when he was an OC of having just phenomenal years outside of having Josh Allen. Okay, cool. Outside of having Josh Allen, I get that. Let's talk about who he's had outside of Josh Allen. I'm just going to name the quarterbacks who were on the rosters, whether they were starters, whatever, just the people he had access to as an OC and just being a part of those offensive staff. So with the Jets way back when, Brett Favre. The Browns, Brady Quinn, Colt McCoy, Jake Delhomme, Derek Anderson. The Dolphins, Chad Henne and Matt Moore. The Chiefs, he had Matt Castle. Sorry, Matt Castle. Yeah, with Alabama, of course, he had Tua and Jalen Hurts. That is what it is. The Bills, he had Josh Allen. And then you go to the Giants, he had Daniel Jones, who, you know, is Daniel Jones. He's looked good this past year, but during that time period, he didn't look great. And it was mostly because of his mistakes, not necessarily the offense that he was put into. Tyrod Taylor, he had Tommy DeVito throwing for 300. Like, come on now. And then we can't forget the legend himself. I mean, he had Tommy DeVito playing ball. I don't care what nobody says. People were trying to get him a contract and make him the starter. Now he can't find a roster spot. That's what he was working with. But we can't forget about the most notable name that he's worked with outside of Josh Allen with the Giants, a guy that the Titans fans I know we love, Tim Boyle. Big Boyle. Yes, sir.
Big Boyle.
Big Boyle. Big Boyle. 25 attempts, 2 completions. That's my dog. So just that's who he's worked with, you know, and the fact that he's going to get his hands on a guy who they were willing to trade up for, to the point where they called the Titans during their pick. Like, yo, hey, you sure, big dog? We got some picks for you. Like, that's what they were willing to do, to go and get Cam Ward. So I'm excited about it. The biggest piece, you know, there's so many things that you can point to in terms of Josh Allen and Cam Ward, in terms of like the stats, but player for player, they're built different. One's more of a running quarterback. There's different things about them. But the thing that they both do have in common is the uncoachable traits, the unteachable traits, that natural, I'm just going to get it done during crunch time. You know, people did a backflip when, you know, 4th down, Caleb Williams scrambles, makes a throw, you know, to DJ Moore to move the change. Everybody's freaking out. Look at that throw. We haven't seen anything like that. Cam Ward's tape has got 20 of those on it.
20
of him making throws just like that. And Brian Daboll gets to can't coach that in his sleep, literally. I mean, come on, I got pushed out of bounds while doing it.
He wake up and throw it to the side.
Not like literally. Come on, man. What are we talking about, man? I'm just excited about it, man. It's like you mentioned, a complete staff of people who are known for being really solid at what they do is really good. You know, something that I can appreciate. There's a reason why that, you know, Nick Holtz was let go. I haven't heard of a single person interviewing Nick Holtz for an OC job. You know, only person who was, you know, interviewed and hired was Denard Wilson, and we talked about it on this show. He deserved it to be, though.
He did.
We were fine if he stuck around as DC, even though it would be a demotion. He deserves a DC role. So, you know, it's one of those things where I'm excited just because we've got somebody who's been through it, man. You know what I mean? Like, we've got somebody when things get rough. If Robert Saleh's got to focus on his defense getting a stop and the offense is going to have to go back on the field, I trust that while Robert Saleh's like, hey, team, let's get rally, but right now, defense, let me focus on what you guys need to get done. We've got somebody who's talking to Cam Ward in the offense who I trust whatever he says word for word, really even more than what our head coach will be telling him to him. in those moments. Man, that type of comfortability is something we haven't had in a long time, Randy.
Yeah. And I also, man, I think I want to give a big shout out to Berganzi. I mean, he's not getting enough praise for getting these things pulled off. I mean, yeah, Salah may be helping making the connections, but for Borganzi to be able to get Salah in the building and Daboll, two head coaches, I mean, I think it's going to be evenly matched, and you have equal, how can I say this? I guess you have premium attention on both sides of the ball. There's no lack anymore. There's not like, all right, well, how could the offense come unprepared today? And how could the defense, they don't look as, you know what I mean? Well, I probably wouldn't say that necessarily for Denard, because Denard never really slacked when he was defensive coordinator. He just didn't have much to work with. But he always looked very prepared on his side of the ball. But the offensive side looked lackluster at times. And I think that's where the inexperience, came to a head and showed itself. That was the ugly truth of that. Now we have Brian Daboll that's going to be able to have these guys sharp and clicking. I think he will have the concepts and the play calls down simple for Cam Ward. I'm excited, bro. Like, hey, matter of fact, let's just take a little small detour. Let's take a little shot of delusion. Where you at right now on record? We got take a shot, bro. Come with me. Let's go. Let's take. Where you at?
With me.
Yeah,
Mary.
Where you
what
at?
Do we have here now?
What you thinking, man?
See. My prediction
you
right
over
now
500?
My over-under is set right at 7.5. I've got us right there. If I have to pick a number, I'm saying pre-free agency with this roster right now, 7 wins. That's what I'll say.
7 wins.
Free agency could bump me up a win or maybe 2.
Let's
but
go.
Right now, and let me tell you the biggest reason why. And matter of fact, let me just let you get yours out, and then I'll jump into why I am giving us 4 additional wins, even with the same roster. Go ahead.
I mean, that is a safe place to be right now. Now, catch me after the draft, and we're probably going to get wasted. This is probably going to be wild. You're probably going to hear me say playoff berth, deep playoff. I don't know. We don't know. We got to wait. You got to wait till the off-season content. But for right now, I love that analogy of saying an additional 4 wins because, I mean, man, if we're being truthful, man, we showed a lack of just experience across the board this year, and we lost a lot of games that we probably should have won. Now, I mean, we didn't have the most cookie cutter cupcake schedule this year, but I mean, it's still some games we probably could have pulled out. So yeah, I like your guess of saying maybe an additional 4 wins. I'm probably right there with you. I'm right there with you right now. No adjustments to the roster. Yeah, now talk to me after the draft.
And I'll tell you the biggest reason why I say that. One is, and this is the only one I mentioned. I'm not going to dive deep into it. The culture of the team, to me, Salah's an energy fireball guy who means business. Daboll is an energy guy. Like Daboll, he's one of those. He's in people's faces. I mean, he breaking rules, going into
pushing
the
people.
Are you
around,
good?
Like,
you know what I mean? Like he's doing like that type of energy. I feel like is what Cam and the team feed off of. Cam is an energy guy. Like I remember he threw his first touchdown, had his helmet off, and was talking crazy to the side. Like that right there, having a coach that's going to talk back with you. You know what I mean? Like I could even see Daboll hitting one of it. Like I could see that. Like, and that energy is contagious. And that on top of actually knowing the rules, because you've got people who've been in a position before, that energy and momentum carry things. They carry teams. Everybody's been a part of it. I was a guy who grew up playing basketball. AAU, you force a couple turnovers because you're pressing. All those claps start coming up. And you can feel it in the gym. The same thing in the stadium, man. I remember when we played the Bills a few years ago, and this Josh Allen trying to sneak, and at the 1 yard line, and it's hype in there, and the energy flows, and we get to stop, and Josh Allen slips. I think he slips because of the energy goblins come and grab his foot, and he can't get that 1 yard. Like those things are real, and I think that's what really pushes a young team who feeds off energy. just as much as anything else, even more. The veteran guys, they've been there, they've seen it, they've done it. But the young guys, that energy can propel them to really do some cool things, man. So that's what I'm most excited about. And, to kind of piggyback off of, one quick conversation we'll have is I took a peek to see what type of players were brought in, whether, Daboll was an OC or a head coach, in just in general. A lot of times they brought in a Randy Moss with the Patriots, and that was, yeah, I know. Mangini was, there, but, Daboll influenced the scheme. Then you look at Brandon Marshall, the Dolphins added, who fit the scheme. Even John Brown. I know John Brown's not a big name, but 72 receptions, 1,000 yards. He brought in a Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders, guys who were slot weapons.
Beasley.
And then there's running backs that he brought in over the past two, like a Devin Singletary. He was actually the Peyton Hillis guy. He signed Peyton Hillis in 2009, 2010 with the Browns, where he had 11 touchdowns, almost 1,200 yards in 2010. So it's one of those things where you could see them going into free agency. It's ironic. Thanks to Captain Short for jumping this in there. CBS Sports predicted that the Titans would sign Jalen Phillips, Juwan Jennings, and linebacker Nakobe Dean in free agency. Jalen Phillips and Jennings are kind of those pieces that are similar. I'm not going to say they're Brandon Marshall or Moss, but he's a big physical receiver who can get open. One of those guys. So being able to see stuff like that and looking at, who the type of players he's brought in, it's varied. He's brought in undersized slot guys who can get open. He's brought in big physical down the field receivers. Like, just the fact that he just brings in people who fit his scheme. And I think his scheme is, can you get open and catch the ball, big dog?
Yeah.
like that's it, man. Like, looking at a Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders. Sanders, was a guy who had some speed to him, but Cole Beasley, even a Devin Singletary, these aren't like speedsters. Brandon Marshall's not a speedster. Randy Moss was just Randy Moss, but he wasn't known for being the fastest guy in the league, even though, he was
right.
Randy Moss. Like, he just has guys in who fit his scheme, and this makes me excited, man. This makes me excited that we could come in and potentially bring some guys like that to really help, and maybe we jump that number up from 7 to, maybe not get the Randy's 11, but hey, maybe we do have a plus season this year. And sure, I'm probably sipping on the hopium right now, but we need it.
Yeah, man. Hey, man.
We need it, man.
We need it, man. I mean, this is just something to look forward to. I mean, we're having guys like just on that Patriots team, you had Martellus Bennett, man. I loved his energy, man. He had 55 receptions, 700 yards, 7 touchdowns that year during the Patriots. I mean, it's just some of those energy guys that match energy OC. And I'm excited to just see now that we're in the next phase. I mean, we're rounding out how our coaching staff looks. It's going to be expensive, but Amy's willing to pay. And I think it is the help we need. And I think we will see a different Titans team. I truly do believe that. Like, now it's starting to rain like what Borgonzi has said in the last, press conference, and just letting us know that, like, he truly is trying to turn this franchise around. And I do want a different product on the field by the time this new stadium's open, man. So, I think we can do that. We got the pieces to build around. You have Big Jeff on the defense, Cedric Gray, Trevondre Sweat as some of the pieces. And you got Cam Ward, Calvin Ridley, and, I would have said TP, really, but I mean, I think TP's gone,
really
man.
Name until July. I don't need
you. You leaving him out until July?
Man, I need to know where.
You need to know.
Yeah, you just talking about him like he's a surefire person.
I think he is, man. I think he is.
You got me.
I think he is. I don't think we've seen enough, man. Like, I'm excited.
You're right. We ain't seen enough. You're right. You're exactly right. We ain't seen enough. But look, here's what I want you guys to do, man. One, as always, like, comment, subscribe. But
always,
I want you to comment down the one most important thing that comes with Daboll, whether it's the culture change, whether it's, him having an expansive playbook, and being willing to open up that playbook depending on who's around him. Maybe it's the free agent that he brings with him. Maybe Wan'Dale Robinson comes over and you're excited about that. Like, tell me what you think the single most important or impactful thing that Brian Daboll brings to the Tennessee Titans. But Randy, you got anything before we wrap up for today?
Man, hey man, it's a good time to be a Titans fan right now. You know what I mean? This is the start of the change. I'm just excited of the product that we'll have on the field, next season. Y'all stick with us, man. We're going to cover it step by step, what we're going to do in this offseason, our free agency, the draft. I mean, much more. We got some special stuff on the way. Y'all stay warm. But, man, just stick with us. Stick with us.
Man, please do. And one quick thing I do want to say. I know podcasts don't do this, but I do this. Shout out to all the media members, especially my guy Zach Lyons, Stoney Keeley, seen a few others who drove and went through the snow, ice, whatever, to get down to the Senior Bowl to give us some coverage. Shout out to you guys. I am looking forward to seeing what they say, some of the players that come out of there. There's always some 4th or 5th round picks that people fall in love with, i.e. Jackson Slater, that we end up actually drafting. So I'm actually excited to see what that looks like as we dive into the draft time of the year. I'm a shout-out guy. I'm giving shout-outs to different podcasts. I don't give a darn. Look, thank you guys so much. Everybody stay safe, stay warm. We will be back soon because I think there's going to be some news popping up. We're also going to cover what we hear and what we feel coming out of the press conference on Thursday too, so look out for that. Yeah. But have a good day, man. Enjoy yourselves. Pressman out.
Y'all stick with us. Stay warm, baby. Pressman.